Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Tesla report for Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. Before I jump into the charts, please click like each and every time you watch the daily Tesla report. We greatly appreciate it. It helps our exposure on YouTube being found when people search for Tesla. We're also doing the daily Apple report. You can check that out and like that. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notification each and every time new content has been uploaded. Twice a day now with the daily the daily Tesla report and the daily Apple report, and share with friends and colleagues if you would. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to show the daily chart here. The fact that we eased right back at this line here, 169.82 today. So, I'd mentioned yesterday how, yes, closing below this channel bottom was a sell signal, but it deserves another day. And really, the truth is, and I think I've said this, I say it all the time. I can't remember if I said it yesterday or if I reminded you over the last couple of days, but it really is a weekly settlement below this 170.11 formation that is the final straw in terms of a longer term sell signal. We've already had a series of sell signals, but this would be a doozy. This would probably result in longer term sort of price erosion as we move through Q1. And I've already shown those targets. I'll show them again in a moment. But it is below 170.11, and it should be, truth be told, by a 1% margin. So that's like another $1.70 below 170.11. I'll show that actually in Friday's daily Tesla report, just so you're clear about whether we have a long-term sell signal or not. I mean, right now they're tentative, actually not right now, but in terms of Tuesday's report, I'd mentioned how when we settled Monday below this channel bottom, it was tentative. It's the first shoe has dropped. The big question, of course, is will we continue south? Will we close lower on the day Tuesday, which we did not do. We actually closed up a couple of bucks right at this channel bottom. So jury is still out, I guess is the long way of saying what I've just said. The jury is still out in terms of a longer term sell signal in Tesla. You can still make a case that we're in a bottoming process perhaps, and that is actually shown pretty clearly here on this weekly chart. The fact that we did on Tuesday close back above this channel structure, 170.11 to 178.22. So we need another day or two. We'll see how Friday settles out. I think will be sort of the final outcome in terms of whether or not we're in a longer term sell signal. And if we do close below the 170.11 formation by a 1% margin, a $1.70 essentially below that, that would then indicate potentially A here on this chart. That is the March 2020 pre-COVID, or the COVID low, I should say. It could unravel all the way back to that point. On the way down, of course, we have this channel structure that I've mentioned as a 1 to 2 month target. And you can see that here illustrated roughly in terms of the support and resistance. So if we do close Friday below that support in the 169.82 on the daily chart, 170.11 on the weekly, then yes, this is the next target, and this is dropping at a pretty good pace. But let's talk upside today. We've got 169.82 and 178.22. Will we see 178.22? Tough call, but if tested, it can contain daily buying pressures. Merely closing above 169.82 today, I think probably marks a good low for the week. We probably will not get that sell signal on Friday. And certainly if we close above 178.22, that is a clear sign that this market wants to trade up from here. What would be the targets? I can zoom in here just a bit and show this. 169.82, 178.22 is shown here, those long-term channel bottoms. The 176.77, that's not a valid level anymore. We should have updated this chart. We did not. My apologies. But it is 193.53. So if we close above 178.22 today, 193.53, this 2-week channel top becomes really a 2 to 3, 3 to 5 day target where we could top out through the balance of next week and fall off from there. And then closing above 193.53 is another 3 to 5 day signal up to 213.35, which is a more meaningful resistance that could contain buying into January, and we could fall off from there. I will say that if we close above 178.22 today, that is your signal for 213.35 as a 2 to 3 week objective. So keep that in mind. Closing above 178.22 tells me that the low is in, at least through December, and that over the next 2 or 3 weeks we should rally up to 213.35. This channel structure is also a significant upside pivot point into the first quarter of next year, into January of next year, and that's about as much as I will say for the upside. Now the downside today, actually I think I just had it, didn't I? Bear with me here. 162.10 is shown here. 162.10 is nothing more than a trend line off these lows. So this is for aggressive day traders. If we happen to open below 169.82, we can ease back to 162.10. That would be a new low for the year following the all-time high about a year ago, 162.10. If we close below 162.10, we may well test 152.61 by Friday's close. And that is, and I've got, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, I know I haven't today, but this newsletter that I use in the daily Tesla report is downloadable for free. And there is a link here underneath the screen that you can click on if you want. You can click on these charts and it'll show the support and resistance. 152.61. If we continue closing, or if we close today below 169.82, this 152.61 trend line off these lows, it goes back to February and May, 152.61. I've got that as a 2-star support. So if we test it over the next few days, can contain selling into next week, and we could bounce nicely off of there. But once again, we are at a significant turning point in this market, and we haven't turned it yet. The question is whether or not we settle the week Friday below 170.11 by a 1% margin. And if we do, then longer-term bearish continuation sort of reigns into the first quarter of next year, and this thing can keep unraveling into the lower 130s within a month or two, and even lower as we continue into Q2 of next year. Until then, this can be considered a bottoming process, despite the fact that we have violated a 5/8 Fibonacci, also this channel bottom at 170.11, but only on an intra-week basis. The weekly charts are the final sort of say in the longer-term trend identifiers. And, not unless we settle below 170.11 at the end of the week do we have sort of closure and finality on what could be a longer-term sell signal. Until then, this is mere testing of long-term support, and it is testing your patience, of course, if you bought into this zone over the last few days. But it may well bear fruit. We just need to see this market close a little higher. Even higher on the day is a good sign. Certainly above the 169.82 formation, which I can show here. And especially if we close above 178.22, then I think we'll run pretty quickly within a week or two to the 213.35 channel top, where we could top out into January and a significant upside continuation point into January trade. I think that pretty much rounds it out for Wednesday's Daily Tesla Report. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with Friday's report. You have a great day.